So question number one, and certainly, and I have notes here with all of my bullet point answers so I can explain. The number one question that I get for people that are new to the channel is they watch one of the videos and they say they don't understand. It's like, Dave, why did you move away from plugins? And why would you take a step back in time as far as technology goes? Why would you leave all in the box with all the great things about in the box and the editing and the recall and the plugins and all of that? Why would you leave that and go back 50 years in time and do this nonsense and all that nonsense? Why would you do it all? What made you do this? I don't understand. That's literally what people say. They don't get it. Well, let me explain why I went this way. So first and foremost, I didn't move away from plugins or move away from working in the box. I work with plugins in the box every single day. For the last 10 years, if you don't know, I also run another YouTube channel called Home Recording Made Easy, along with another website called homerecordingmadeeasy.com. Again, all the links are in the description box below. That is online training for beginners and intermediates to learn how to record, mix, master music in their home studios. There's 10 years worth of content on YouTube, almost 900 videos, 800 and some odd. And I still create videos every single week for that channel. Plug-in demos, mixing demonstrations, different tips and tricks working inside of your DAW, all kinds of stuff. So if you don't know about that, it's still there, it's still running, it's very successful, and it has been for the last 10 years. All of my online courses and all of my training have been very popular and have helped thousands of people all over the world. And I so appreciate those people. I couldn't do any of this without all the support over the last 10 years with the folks that helped build and support homerecordingmadeeasy.com. So I didn't move away from plugins, but as I said, I've been working in the box, in plugins, on Home Recording Made Easy, building that brand for the last 10 years. And as I said, it's been very successful. I still got a lot of years left to work, right? I'm not 65 years old yet. And even if I was, I don't want to stop working. I want to continue to work. But I've often asked myself over the last couple of years, okay, what's next? You've built a whole online school working in the box, working with plugins. You've built almost over 800 videos on YouTube. I can keep going over the same topics over and over and over again, but quite honestly, I was getting a little bored. And I wanted something to inspire me, to keep me motivated, to keep doing this, to keep trying to help people. What was I going to do next? And I kept asking myself that over the last couple of years. What's next? What's next? What's next? Is it for the next 10 or 15 years? Keep doing plugin demos? I wouldn't be able to do that. Can I keep showing the same things on YouTube over and over and over again? I suppose I could, but that really doesn't excite me. It doesn't interest me. I want to do something new. I want to continue to do that, but I'd like to do something else. So that was kind of the first thing in my mind was, okay, what am I going to do next? I also wanted to be able to expand my business, expand the Home Recording Made Easy brand. And maybe it's not called Home Recording Made Easy, maybe it's called something else, but to reach a different type of an audience. Maybe an audience that's not really beginners, not really intermediates, doesn't work in the box, or wants to move away from working in the box and wants to move more analog, more hybrid. Hence mixing music analog, right? So I wanted to expand my business and try to find a way to reach another group of people, not to stop helping the first group of people, but to reach another group of people, right? Another audience. And also, quite frankly, there is probably a 10%, maybe a little higher than that, I would say, that have started at Home Recording Made Easy and now, for lack of a better word, graduated to moving into this stuff. They love the craft of mixing and they want to learn about this stuff as well. There's people that migrated over, which is great as well. So now I can help a larger group of people. And I wanted to expand my business, and I also wanted to feature more of my own mixing services for clients. Mixingmusicanalog.com is really my mixing services for clients. I wanted to be able to give clients, some clients that have the budget to invest in their music, that wanted to have it professionally mixed, to maybe give them something that's different than what everybody else can give them. Everybody with a computer with plugins can mix in the box, right? Everybody can do that. How you do it and how you use the tools, that's a whole different conversation. But not everybody can mix for clients with analog gear and a console and hardware. it's a different type of sound, right? So I wanted to be able to maybe provide that and see if there was a market for that, because it looks like today, and we'll get to this later in some of the other questions, that everybody's starting to move away from analog and get back into in the box. And well, I want to be able to offer that to people. So that was another kind of a reason. Plus, on a personal note, I've always wanted to experience what it's like to work in this workflow. I've worked in the box workflow ever since there was a box workflow, right? Well over 10 years, long before there was a YouTube channel. I was working in Pro Tools when Pro Tools first came out in the box. And when the first audio interfaces came out. I've been doing it for a long time. I always wanted to do this. I always wanted to experience that. I wanted to know for myself, what are the real differences between working in this workflow versus working all in the box? Now, we know what the physical differences are. That's obvious, right? It's physical, tactile feel, it's different. But what is the sound difference really? I mean, there's lots of people on YouTube that claim to know what the sound differences are. They claim to know one is better or the other is better. And a lot of those people have never worked this way. How would they even know that? Or have never even stood in the room with this stuff for any length of time, or have never really worked on it for any length of time to be able to tell you what the differences are. I wanted to know for myself, and then I wanted to share that with you. Not whether one's better or the other, just what are the differences? I consider myself a craft or a student of the craft of mixing. It's the thing I like to do the most. I like to record, I like to do all that stuff, I like to teach, but I really love to mix music and always have. And so I wanted to learn for myself really what are the differences are. I didn't want someone to tell me on YouTube what the differences are. I wanted to know what the differences are so I can be honest and share with you what the differences are. And so it's something that I've always wanted to do. And because I got to a place in my business, because of all of you or a lot of you that have supported me, I have finally had the success to be able to say I can take a risk and make a financial investment in my business. And everything is a risk, right? None of this stuff was given to me for free. I'm not like a lot of those other sponsored YouTube channels where a company dropped the console in my studio so they can get free camera time. That didn't happen with me. I bought all of this stuff, right? With the exception of some hardware from the company audio-scape, which I've talked about. But half of what you see behind me, I paid for. What you see right here, I paid for. It wasn't given to me, okay? I made my own investment, right? So it's something that I've always wanted to be able to do. And then quite honestly, and I've talked about this on Home Recording Made Easy in my yearly wrap-up of 2020, I bought this console in 2021. And I looked at consoles before, probably 2 or 3 years earlier, not the Origin because it wasn't out yet, but I looked at some SSLs and I looked at some Neves and some APIs, and I was almost ready to pull the trigger on a Neve console at one point. And it wasn't the right time. Financially, it wasn't the right time. I didn't have it. I wasn't ready to make that kind of a commitment. But you know, 2020 we had, no matter where you are in the world, no matter when you're watching this video, whether it's today in May of 2022 or whether it's 2 years from now, you'll know that if you were alive in 2020, you remember our worldwide pandemic and COVID. And COVID taught me something, and I mentioned this in a couple of my videos on Home Recording Made Easy, and it taught me something too. You know, life is short, unfortunately, and we only have a limited time on this planet. And I've always been a big believer in if you really want to do something in life, there's no better time than the present. Everything is a risk. There's no guarantee for tomorrow. And so if you really want to do something, when are you going to do it? And COVID really did that for me. That I've been talking about analog and a console for several years, and I kept putting it off and procrastinating. Oh, it's too much money. Is it going to be successful? What if nobody hires me? What if nobody watches my YouTube channel? What if nobody cares? Was this all just a big waste of money? I told myself that for 3 years. It was too much, too much, too much. And then I said after 2020, if I don't do it now, when am I going to do it? I'm not 25 years old anymore. I know I look it, but I'm not 25, right? I'm in my 50s. I'm a young guy still. But you know what? I could see the light at the end of the tunnel as far as my work career, and you know how life is. Everybody does, right? You have families, you know. If you have parents still alive, if you're lucky enough, you know. You know, if you don't do it now, when? I don't want to, I never, in my whole life and even in my career, I don't want to look back 20 years from now when I'm an old man in a rocking chair, sitting with my grandkids, hopefully on my lap, saying, I would have done this, I should have done this, I could have done this, why didn't I do this? I did not want to be the woulda, shoulda, coulda guy, right? Not just in my career, but even in my personal life, family life, right? I don't want to look back with any regrets. And so I want to do this. I've always wanted to do this. I love this stuff. I love learning about it. I love trying to teach people. So COVID kind of really was the thing that pushed me over the hump to say, if you don't do it now, Dave, you're never going to do it. You're never going to do it. And so I did. So that was another big thing for it. If I want to accomplish something, I want to try to get it done. And then you know what? Like I say about people, because I do business coaching as well, I have some students that hire me to consult with them on how do you run a business? How do you run a studio? How do you run an online education business? I'm going to get more into that in the future because I run 3 businesses now, and I'm going to be running a 4th sometime in the near future. You know, when you want to expand, business is all about risk. You know, nobody that was ever successful in business, whether it's online, the music business, or any business, they didn't get successful by not taking risk. Certainly, you got to take a calculated risk. You got to be smart. This is a risk. This financial thing is a risk, right? Remember I said it wasn't given to me. I had to pay for all of this. I'm still paying for this. I'll be paying for this for the next 3 years. It's a risk, right? But if you don't take a risk in business, you'll never be successful. I'm not suggesting you run out and do this. I'm just saying for me, every time I've started a business, people told me I was crazy. Just like when I bought this, a lot of people told me I was absolutely out of my mind. A lot of nasty comments on YouTube. People told me I was crazy. But I was told that when I started home recording Made Easy. I was told that when I started mixingmadeeasy.net. I was told that when I purchased I have a local business, a manufacturing business that my family business that, you know, I'm involved in. It's not away from music. People told me I was nuts. All those businesses are successful. Now, I'm very lucky, very blessed, and I work really hard. It's not luck, it's a lot of hard work. But if I listened to everyone that told me I was crazy, I would never do anything, right? So that's my little advice to you. If you want to do something in life, do it. And if you want to do something, you got to take some risk. And I took risk. And you know what? To wrap up the answer to this first question, at the end of the day, who knows? Maybe in 2 years, I'll sell all this stuff. Maybe not because it wasn't successful. Maybe I grow tired of it and I sell it all. It's all got value. Am I going to get all my money back? Of course not. But who cares? You know, if I spent $50,000 on this console and I sell it in 2 years and I get $20,000 for it or $25,000 for it or whatever I get for it, I'll get some of my money back. My guess is I'll probably get 60 or 70% of my money back. So it's not all washed. It's not all thrown away in the trash, right? Who knows what the future holds? I have no plans to do that. I absolutely love this, but you never know. So that's why I went and bought a console, and that's why I'm doing this. It's not because I don't like the in the box, and it's not because I'm moving away from it. I'm not. It was just a way for me to expand, to kind of scratch my own personal itch of experience. I wanted to experience this. I wanted to do this. I wanted to know the difference. I wanted to grow my business, and it has been successful so far. And I wanted to be able to then share my experience with others because there's very few people on YouTube, if any, that really do. There isn't. So, and I know I've helped a lot of you so far, which is great. So if my risk is helping you in any way or giving you information to make your own purchases, wonderful. So that's question number 1. I hope that makes sense. I have really nothing else to say about it other than that, okay? So